sun as I surveyed the Persian force encamped on the plain below us. It was the 7th day of the siege of Thermopylae, and the enemy had still not broken us. I am Leonidas, king of Sparta and general of the armies of Greece. For 7 days we have held the pass of Thermopylae against the armies of King Xerxes of Persia. His army numbers 2 million men, or more accurately, 2 million slaves. The armies of Greece number 7,000 men, but the pride of this army is the 300 Spartan hoplites, the best soldiers in the world. They demonstrated this claim yesterday when they defeated Xerxes' so-called immortals. These Easterners are no match for the warriors of Sparta, but in the back of my mind, I began to wonder how long we could really hold out. I started slightly as my aide, Euphorus, spoke to me. "Sir, a runner has come from the Phocians guarding our flank. He says it's important." Stepping down from the low stone wall on which I stood, I replied, "Very well, take me to him." As we walked through the camp, I observed the morale of our soldiers. Most of our allied Greeks looked tired but determined. The Spartans, in contrast, looked fresh and confident. Their attitude has kept the others from despair in the face of such overwhelming odds. Upon arriving in the command center, several officers came up and tried to speak to me at once. Taking one of my trusted commanders to my side, I asked him what was going on. My face turned grave as I listened to his report. A force of 20,000 Persians had found a route around the pass we were defending, and they were now merely 3 miles away from us. Because the terrain behind us was long and flat, the Persians will be able to overwhelm us with their superior numbers. Seeing no alternative, however, I ordered my troops to prepare for their last battle. Several hours later, I stood facing the Persians in my battle armor. Unlike before, where we were defending a narrow pass, we were now fighting on an open plain. Seeing the hopelessness of the situation, I dismissed most of our forces except for the 300 Spartans and several hundred allied Greeks who refused to leave their posts. A horn blew from the enemy camp, and the Easterners began to charge. A volley of arrows flew over our heads, killing several of my troops. Raising my shield, I shouted, "For our homes, for our freedom, for Sparta, charge." Like a broken dam, we swept towards the enemy. I killed dozens of them, and for a time it appeared as if we were winning. The Easterners began to fall back, and we gave chase. But then numbers began to tell. More Persians were flung into the fray, and I soon found that we ourselves were falling back. Fighting for every inch of ground, we were forced back to our original position. We counterattacked several times, killing hundreds of the enemy. Nonetheless, their numbers were just too great, and we fell back to our campsite. The Persians withdrew for a brief respite, and I looked around at our remaining soldiers. Most of us were dead or wounded. Many of our weapons had been broken, and many of our allied Greeks had surrendered. We now had mostly 100 men left, most of them Spartans. A horn blew from the enemies, and 3,000 Persians began to advance. I ordered my soldiers to prepare for their last stand. The oncoming Persians began to shout, "Xerxes! Xerxes! Death! Death! Death!" Looking around at my soldiers, I smiled grimly and said, "They want death? Well, we'll give it to them." And for one last time, we charged.